Okay, I have quite the challenge for myself. I need to get water from around here, trench it down to here, then trench it over to there, because I want to put a water trough here, because I want to fence in the nook. Alright, so here's the plan. I need to get, my well is over there, behind the garage, so way over there. I need to trench water from behind the garage around through the driveway to here. I'm gonna put a hydrant there. That way I can water the front yard. We might want to put a garden or something right there. But then I want to trench from this, so I'll make a T and then run it basically where you see this tractor path is. I've been hauling water back and forth, but I'm basically gonna trench down this way, keep going, and then I'm thinking to put a frost-free hydrant basically on or right up against this shed, because the plan is, you know, I rotationally graze and I want to make sure they have a lane and they'll always have access to that shelter to get out of the rain or the sun, because it gets real hot here and they need shade, and the front paddocks don't have any shade. So I'm thinking I can have a permanent water source up this way. And so, I mean, that run-in is a permanent shelter. So I'm thinking it just makes sense to run the water straight to that over here. But generally, I need to get water to this area, so I don't have to keep hauling water like that, because that's not very fun. So I think it's about 500 feet from over there through the pasture to the shed. And then also down here, I'll show you just since we're out here, the garden hose I mentioned, I'll put about there. I need to tee off that and then run water down this way, because the next project is fencing this acre in. So I need to put another frost-free hydrant over here, and I'm gonna have a permanent water trough basically where the bush hog's at right now. So I'm thinking trench water from there in the backyard down to there, and then cut across this road right here, and then have a hydrant. I'm thinking probably in that corner. So put a hydrant right there where that H-brace is at, and then have a trough right here, and then that will feed this whole extra 1 acre I'm trying to get fenced in. So I'll show you that. But yeah, here's another 1 acre, and I'm trying to figure out the best way to go about fencing this in, whether I'm going to connect it to that. I'm actually thinking of making a lane here, but that's besides the point for this video. For this time, I just need to get water right here. And the reason I want water here is because that's the only flat spot. Once you get to here, it starts sloping down to the creek. And so I want a good semi-permanent water source right there. That way it's just level, they come in there, and that'll feed this whole acre. So yeah, that's the rough plan. I'm also thinking, since I'm renting a trencher, I'm gonna have a frost-free hydrant up there. I'm gonna trench down here. Then I'm gonna have to go under this fence and then run it to there. But I'm figuring since I'm already right here, I'm already gonna be right there. I'm thinking trench along here and get me a hydrant down there because eventually we want a garden. So lots of water planning going on here, but yeah, I think if I have water, I'd have water down there, I'd have water up there, I'd have water at the shed, and then I'll have water here. So I think this is quite the upgrade I'm planning for this year. So that's the plan, and we see what happens. Okay, so I wanted to give an update on my project. Now, the original plan was to tap into that and then run it out that way and then down that way. The problem I ran into is I found where my house's main water line is and a wire. And I nicked the wire and I busted the pipe on the literally the first thing I did this morning. It's like 2 p.m. right now, and I got the equipment here at 9, made that hole at 9:15, and I've been working on this since then. Now the confusing part is that there is a water line here. There's also a wire here that I found. And so I thought I was clear. If I just go this way, I'll be fine. But then that's where I found my main. So now I'm going to put a T off of that and then continue the original plan. But I need to get water back to my house first. And then this will just be a hydrant later. But yeah, this was a bit of a mystery here. So that is actually powering my well, this wire. That wire down there is dead. There's no power going through it. I think there was a building way back there, so it might be that wire, but that wire isn't live. So now I got to dig this up more and keep going, get water back to my house because wife's pissed. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and just round out this video for this week. So I got this hydrant installed, which is great. So I got that hole filled back in, a bunch of gravel. I got water here now, that's good. And then also I had this wire marked so you can see where it was going. But we could only find the one that was live that I was showing you that powers the well pump. So there's another wire. But I've also got some valves in here done. So you can see I got it's rained since I've finished this. It's a couple days later. But basically I've got a valve now that right there, that valve there controls flow to my house. So now I can turn the water off to my house. I didn't have that capability before. And now that valve will go straight out to the pasture. So right now I've just got it turned off, but it's basically ready to tap into. What I'm gonna do is do a little stub. I'm gonna do a little stub out there, then a 90, and I'm gonna go across, and then finally out to the pasture. So I'm gonna have to rent the trencher again. No big deal. I also got a guy coming to find my main water line. You can see that is just marking the well, these blue dots. It really should be red. But now he's going to come back next week after it rains and find this one, because I really don't want to hit it once I start moving this way. Because once I start moving this way, see, that's pretty close to where I was planning trench. And so I'm going to be working out here, and my electrical box is there. So I'm assuming this is going to keep going, but my main water line, I don't know where that goes with the other wire. So that's the plan. I'm stopping here for now. I will update the next time there is an update. Thanks.